Welcome back to my Transformers animated episode reviews. Today we're taking a look at the episode Decepticon Air, which is a play on the Nick Cage movie Con Air. Get it? Con Air, Decepticon Air? You get it. In this episode, the Decepticon prisoners take over the Elite Guard ship, and Optimus Prime is the only one that can stop them. We begin this episode with Sumdac and Bulkhead having completed the construction of the space bridge. When they start arguing over who got their math wrong, Sari hops down and fixes their calibration herself, demonstrating her recently inherited knowledge from the Allspark after merging with her key.
Sari, how did you know what to do?
I don't know. I just kinda did.
Huh. Now that I think about it, this reminds me of when Bob merged with his key tool Glitch in Reboot, gaining new powers as a result. Again, I highly suggest you guys watch Reboot if you haven't already. It's a great show. And who knows, maybe it'll be the next show I review after animated. What do you think? Meanwhile, on board the Elite Guard ship, Sentinel is interrogating the Decepticon prisoners. And it's kind of funny how he has a car fob for their mouth restraints. Sentinel surrounded by Decepticons that are all bound and gagged. Sounds like the beginning of someone's fanfiction. Sentinel is summoned to the bridge as he gets a call from Cybertron. We learn that Ultra Magnus still functions, although on Spark support, and that Sentinel plans to take control in his absence. He then flies through an Energon storm on the way to Cybertron, which unfreezes Swindle, who in turn frees and rearms the Decepticons.
You Autobots will pay! Pay with your sparks!
I also accept all major credit downloads.
Swindle demonstrates his little doohickey.
But wait! There's more! It also has a stasis suspension ray, handy for those tight spots.
Which I can't help but think looks like some kind of Pokeball. So it's kind of appropriate that he uses it to capture Jetfire and Jetstorm.
Pick this baby up on Quintessa. Nice folks, the Quintessons. Give you a good deal and all the oil you can drink.
So it seems that they have Quintessons in animated too. And they're apparently a little more friendly than the Quintessons in most other universes. Sentinel sends a distress signal to Optimus, while Swindle name drops another planet for the older fans, Nebulos.
You kidding? We could make enough to retire to a beach island on Nebulos, where the Energon is as smooth as a protoform's bottom.
The home planet of the Nebulons and the Hive, the Headmaster and Target Master partners of the Autobots and Decepticons in the G1 series finale, The Rebirth. Sari locks on to the transwarp signal on the ship, and Optimus goes to help his friend. On board the ship, Swindle gives Ramjet and Sunstorm some new helmets.
Never could get the hang of cloning. Why don't you try these on for size? Just so I can tell you bots apart.
I mean, one is an off-white and the other is an orange color. You can't tell them apart that way? Man, Transformers in this universe really are colorblind. But it turns out that the transwarp signal was a link to Swindle's own personal subspace storage dimension. Congratulations, Swindle! It's a boy! It's kind of a blink and you'll miss it scene, but I find it hilarious how Optimus runs over Swindle, leaving him flat as a pancake. It's like something out of a Looney Tunes cartoon. It's also funny how Optimus's trailer appears and reappears off-screen, just like in G1. Optimus slashes up some Energon cubes and drops them down the elevator shaft, where they explode. This is an homage to a scene in the movie Die Hard, as is this scene where Optimus is crawling through the vents muttering to himself.
Sure, transform me onto the ship. Rescue my old buddy from a bunch of Decepticons. It'll be fun.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
And if you've watched my Rescue Bots Academy reviews, you'll know that this movie was also homaged in that series, in the episode Dino Hard.
Stay behind. Take care of the Academy. Great idea, Hoist.
While Swindle goes to loot the ship, Optimus frees his fellow Autobots, but they are caught by the Decepticons. Optimus uses his Autobot symbol to flash a secret message to Jazz, who escapes to the bridge as Lugnut uses his poke, blasting a hole in the ship.
Puny Autobots are helpless in space.
How do the Decepticons fly in space? As far as I'm aware, their Earth alt modes were only made to travel in an atmosphere, not in the vacuum of space. Swindle's little tummy drawer reminds me of one of those magic bags of holding that you see in video games and stuff, where your character can hold tons of items without it actually taking up any space on your person or being encumbered by it. Also, this is totally not an excuse for me to play more Breath of the Wild just so I can capture footage of the menu. That just so happens to be the first game that I thought of with a massive inventory where you can literally hold thousands of items without any ill effect. After battling in space for a while, Blitzwing takes Sentinel hostage and forces the Autobots to surrender. And kind of like Bumblebee and Soundwave in my last G1 retro review, doesn't Blitzwing holding Sentinel look kind of cute? It's almost like he's giving him a hug from behind. Wait a minute, never mind. So the Autobots are placed in the tube, where Blitzwing attempts to freeze them, but he instead ends up freezing the Decepticons, just like Optimus planned.
Nice work, Jazz.
Tight plan, Optimus.
You planned this?
I said one thing to Jazz while telling another in Cybertronian optical code.
This scene is actually an homage to another movie scene, this time from Superman 2, where Zod attempts to take away Superman's powers, but he ends up taking away his and his friends instead.
He switched it. He did it to them. I mean, the lights were on out here, while he was safe in there.
Swindle escapes in an Autobot shuttle, kind of like the ones the Maximals used in Beast Wars. So, Sari comes to a realization.
I know stuff, and I know why I know stuff. That time I upgraded myself with my key, I must have upgraded my processor, or my brain, or whatever. So don't tell me what I can or can't do!
Optimus arrives back on Earth. He and Sentinel seem to be getting along.
Hey, soldier!
And Sentinel arrives back on Cybertron victorious, as he parades through the streets with his Decepticon prisoners. A parade that I'm sure he organized for himself. Also, the two quote-unquote parade floats that they're standing on are actually Grandis and Dugbase, the former of which we'll actually see in robot mode in the next episode. Which is kind of weird when you think about it. Did Sentinel conscript these guys into being living parade floats? How did that conversation go? Okay, so you guys are going to drive slowly down the road in your vehicle modes while me and my prisoners stand on top of you and everyone else watches. Speaking of which, we can see a ton of homages in the crowd. First of all, it seems that Team Rodimus, or Team Athenia, or whatever their official name was, are all okay. As we can see Rodimus Prime, Red Alert, Hotshot, Ironhide, and Brawn. Although there does seem to be multiple duplicates of them, as well as other characters. So maybe the animators had a hard time filling out the crowd. In this shot, from right to left, we can see Lightbright, who inspired the IDW character of the same name. Lickety Split, who apparently didn't get ported over to any other fiction, even though she is totally adorable. Look at her, she's so cute. She looks like a little teddy bear. Aww. We also have Flare Up, originally a BotCon character. Rosanna, originally from Kiss Players. An Autotrooper, Huffer, Mainframe, Warpath, Cosmos. Aw, look at little Cosmos. So cute. Trax, Beachcomber, Wheeljack, and Rat Trap. Or, as he's known in animated, Rattletrap. Since the only techno-organic Transformers in animated are Black Arachnia, Waspinator, and Sari. Of course, there's many other cameos, but I don't want to be here all day pointing them out. Besides, there's going to be a lot more cameos in next week's episode. And finally, this episode ends with Megatron and Starscream inside Omega Supreme, warping in front of Lugnut as he flies through space.
So, now we're picking up hitchhikers?
Well, this was a great episode of Transformers Animated. I loved all the little movie nods, especially the Superman one. And it was great seeing Swindle again. I wish we could have had more of him in the show. Well, what about you? What did you think of this episode of Transformers Animated? As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you here next week for the next episode of Transformers Animated. This is why I hate machines. So, see you here next week for that.